We found him in the seaweed while we were cleaning the seaweed off the boat ramp.
Oh, look at this little guy. Both of them, actually. The aftermath of Hurricane Ian has taken a huge toll on human lives, but also the lives of marine and land animals. This family found this little sea turtle in Key West shortly after Ian passed over the island. Luckily, this turtle was rescued and taken to a nearby turtle hospital.
Recovery after any storm is, of course, hard on people and wildlife. Jennifer Hecker is the executive director of the Coastal and Heartland National Estuary Partnership in Punta Gorda, which was hit hard by Hurricane Ian. I know you're so busy right now, so thanks so much for taking some time out, Jennifer, and talking to us.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that your organization does after a hurricane or tropical storm to better understand the impacts on wildlife?
We've already organized all the partners to go out and do water quality sampling to rapidly assess what the condition is, what pollution levels are present in our waterways. We've already had staff out on boats collecting those samples, getting them over to labs and having them processed so that we can understand what exactly to expect in the coming days and months as we go through our recovery efforts.
Would you say that pollution following a storm is really the biggest issue with these animals? I know I see all that oil sheen. It seems like it's in every waterway after a storm.
Well, Hurricane Ian definitely pushed an unprecedented amount of many types of pollution into our waterways, everything from physical trash and debris to bacteria, hydrocarbons, nutrient pollution. We know that those things can have severe impacts on the ecology of these systems. In Hurricane Irma, for instance, which was a much smaller storm, we had that pollution end up causing a fish kill and aquatic life die off, and that in turn, that decomposing matter actually helped to contribute to red tide blooms in our areas. So we know that there's likely going to be some long-term impacts from this.
Wow, it's just such a domino effect when you're talking
Yeah.
about systems like this.
Yeah.
So you focus on heavily on habitat resiliency for wildlife. What are you able to do to help them survive a major storm?
So one of the things that we do is we map what areas are very important to not only wildlife currently, but what will become more important as habitat migrates and animals have to move in response to sea level rise and other climate change factors. We already are seeing a number of changes in different vegetative communities in our area, even before this storm. And certainly this storm has accelerated some of the movement of animals. We're getting reports from local wildlife hospitals that there's not only injuries, but toxicosis, which is a condition which can happen when animals feed in polluted waters. And we also are getting observations of animals like burrowing owls being displaced.
So if someone we're coming into you, we show this little guy holding a turtle. What should people do if they see wildlife, find wildlife? Should they touch it? Should they not? Who do they call? What do we do?
We luckily have a number of very very helpful and prominent wildlife rehabilitation facilities here throughout Southwest Florida. So I would suggest that people would reach out to their local wildlife rehabilitation center and ask them what they should do. In some cases, it is better to leave the animal, and in some cases, they will have volunteers come and pick up the animal and bring it in for analysis, and treatment if needed. So certainly we are depending on the public and the volunteers right now to help us locate injured wildlife or sick wildlife and to do as much as we can to help them through this.
I guess a quick Google is an easy way to find that. Do our veterinarians have that information if we happen to call our vet and say, hey, who do I call? Or something? Yeah, they have that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's an easy one. Just call the vet and be like, okay, who do I call? This is what I found.
Right.
Jennifer Hecker, Executive Director of the Coastal and Heartland National Estuary Partnership. Thank you for joining us today.